जाहिर करूँगा जो बाहैसियत कायम मकाम गवर्नर सूबा पंजाब मेरे सामने गौर के लिए पेश किया जाएगा या मेरे इल्म में आएगा, बजुज़ जबकि बहैसियत गवर्नर अपने फ़राइज़ की कमान को अंजाम दही के लिए ऐसा करना ज़रूरी हो।
और ये कि मैं किसी शख्स को बिलवास्ता किसी ऐसे मामले की इतला ना दूंगा, ना किसी पर ज़ाहिर करूंगा जो बहैसियत गवर्नर सूबा पंजाब मेरे सामने गौर के लिए पेश किया जाएगा या मेरे इल्म में आएगा, बजुज़ जबकि बहैसियत गवर्नर पंजाब अपने फ़राइज़ की कमा हक़ों अंजाम दही के लिए ऐसा करना ज़रूरी हो।
अल्लाह ताला मेरी मदद और रहनुमाई फरमाए, आमीन।
अल्लाह ताला मेरी मदद और रहनुमाई फरमाए, आमीन।
नए गवर्नर पंजाब उमर सरफराज चीमा की तकरीब हलफ बर्दारी, उन्होंने गवर्नर के तौर पर हलफ उठा लिया है और दिलचस्प बात यह कि उस्मान बुज़दार भी यहाँ पर मौजूद।
And those were the visuals, in fact, coming in from the Pakistan Supreme Court, where the hearing is all set to take place, viewers. But on that note, let me also bring in Arif Chaudhry, the Pakistan senior lawyer, in fact, who's joining us on the broadcast. Arif Chaudhry, if I could come to you about the legal aspects of this entire events that have unfolded in Pakistan today. Opposition says that they have approached the apex court. The PTI maintains that because of Article 69 that the court does not have any jurisdiction on this. Give us your own legal perspective on this. What really are we looking at in terms of the road ahead politically?
Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, Article 95 speaks about the vote of no confidence against the Prime Minister, and the motion had already been moved by the opposition. And, the House was summoned for this purpose today. So, before going for the voting on this motion, a question was asked by the law minister of Pakistan, that, vote of no confidence naturally is the right of the opposition, but this is really motivated. And, it is the result of international conspiracy. So I asked this, the Speaker of the House to adjourn and, reject this motion. So on this, the Speaker of the House rejected that motion and the House was adjourned, prorogued. So after that, the Prime Minister, being the constitutional head as Prime Minister, he gave an advice to the President for the dissolution of Assembly, for which he was competent to do that, after that ruling of the Deputy Speaker. So thereafter, because naturally those people who were determined to oust the Prime Minister, they got dejected, disappointed, because they were not expecting this kind of action by the Speaker. So they immediately tried to move to the Supreme Court. So I think Supreme Court is going to take legal notice of suo motu notice of this issue. It will not be only suo motu because they filed an application. They have moved the application before the Supreme Court under Article 184.3, the constitutional petition. So as far as constitutional petition is concerned, so far we have seen that, Supreme Court of Pakistan has tried to refrain from interfering with the day-to-day working of the Parliament, because, the supremacy of Parliament requires that whatever is done by the Speaker should not be, taken note of, or should not be taken, accountable for any such act. So Supreme Court has tried to avoid it. But this is an absolutely new situation, because this was fixed for vote of no confidence, and such a case has never come to the Supreme Court. So that's why, any interpretation by the Honorable Supreme Court may be very valuable, and naturally that has to be implemented upon. So both sides are expecting that, on both ways, everybody has his own optimism and pessimism on both sides.
That being said, Mr. Chaudhry, if I could just interject, very briefly, I also wanted to know about the constitutional validity of the parliamentary proceeding that took place today. All the parliamentarians had also been citing, PTI parliamentarians at least, citing that Article 5 is what is valid in terms of the kind of allegations that had been leveled, that there is a foreign conspiracy at hand. How much legal validity constitutionally is it there to this kind of argument that had been put forth by the PTI parliamentarians?
I don't think that, so far it should be construed that, something has been done, as far as Article 5 is concerned, we had to, you have to produce evidence for that purpose. But because this issue was already brought before the National Security Council, and, the letter is it's in a written form and nothing is undisputed. Almost everybody knows it. So I think, the reference to this letter was relevant at that point in time because, the responsibility of the mover of the requisition was also to bring to the notice of the House what are those grounds under which they are moving this resolution against the Prime Minister of Pakistan, whether he has committed any misconduct or he has violated the Constitution or whatever, but one thing was that, they alleged that he has lost the confidence of the members of the House. And prior to that, under a petition was already pending before the Honorable Supreme Court to give advice to the President of Pakistan under Article 186 with regard to Article 63A, which prohibits, which bars the members of one political party to change their loyalties and, cross floor crossing and, horse trading has been prohibited, So the definition, the Supreme Court was going to decide about that issue that, whether the people, the MNAs who are determined and who have shown their intent, very clearly, should they be allowed to go and to cast the vote and to face the consequences of their being, dismembered, or, they can be stopped from casting their vote, or if their votes are cast, whether they should be counted for that resolution, for any purpose, for or against, particularly against. So that was also pending before. And this matter was also before the Honorable Supreme Court, the reference to the American interference in Pakistan, the internal affairs, and the motion, this move, was moved, this requisition
well,
was
that's
moved
right.
Vote for no cast just on 7th. Whereas on 7th was the meeting, and then, 8th was the day when, they moved this motion immediately after the data which is being discussed, before the National Security.
Well, that's true. Mr. Arif Chaudhry, I believe then we have some kind of idea about the arguments that would be put forth by both the opposition and the PTI as well. But however, of course, it remains on the judiciary to interpret the law, and we'll have to wait and watch as to what really happens in that hearing. I want to thank you, Arif Chaudhry, for joining us here on the broadcast and giving us your legal perspective.